Investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies versus stocks. Are traditional, widely accepted investment vehicles, like stocks, that different from new digital assets like cryptocurrencies? Are there more or less compelling reasons to invest in crypto over stocks as a retail investor? Hello, I'm Crypto Casey, and in this video, we are going to explore how investing in stocks actually shapes up compared to investing in cryptocurrencies from a valuation and utility standpoint, so we can all make better investment decisions on our path to financial freedom. Let's hit it. Please be sure to check out our sponsors, Tangem, Uphold, and GoBabyTrade. Tangem Wallet is the most affordable and easiest crypto wallet to set up. It literally takes only 90 seconds. It's the size of a credit card, and now the first ever wearable crypto wallet, the sleek, stylish Tangem Ring, is available. Perfect for beginners and advanced users alike. Store your money and manage crypto with Uphold, a Web3 platform that actually holds our money and crypto, doesn't lend it out against our will like traditional banks and exchanges, making it a way better and safer option to buy, sell, trade, and manage our digital assets. And diversify your investment strategy by generating profit off of the volatility of the crypto markets using GoBabyTrade, an AI-driven robotic crypto trader that connects to our Coinbase account and trades 24/7. Join one of the free weekly webinars to learn more. So scroll down, use links below to redeem all special offers they have for us. Sweet. Let's make sure we are all on the same page about a few different concepts so we can fully explore and highlight the major differences between stocks and cryptocurrencies, starting with assets. What is an asset? Asset is just a fancy finance term that means something useful or valuable that can be transferred between people or entities. It can be something physical, like gold. It can be shares of companies, like stocks. It can be something digital, like Bitcoin. It can be something abstract, like expertise. It can be a financial instrument, like a retirement plan. And it can be anything that helps us generate income, like a car, computer, or cell phone, for example. Sweet. Next, let's explore 3 characteristics of assets that make them more or less valuable over time. 3 qualities of assets. 1. Supply. Assets with a limited supply are more valuable than ones with an unlimited supply. Think about real estate. At least in the physical world, it is very limited and becoming price prohibitive for most retail investors. Bitcoin is also an example of an asset with a limited supply of only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in circulation. Both of these constitute a better store of value and wealth over time than assets like fiat or cash, whose supply can increase exponentially ad infinitum, as we've seen in the past few years. And as a result, the money we use to buy goods and services is decreasing in purchasing power and becoming less valuable every day due to its unlimited supply. As for stocks, the amount of shares a company issues, buys back, and similar causes the supply to fluctuate over time. So the supply can increase and decrease throughout the company's lifetime. 2. Durability. Durability of an asset is threefold. 1. It refers to its ability to retain value over time. 2. Its ability to be transported across space. And 3. Its ability to be exchanged between buyers, sellers, or inheritors. So let's go through some examples of different assets with different characteristics of durability. Check it out. Diamonds are chemically stable and strong, making them physically durable. And they have been and continue to be desired by the marketplace because they are attractive in the jewelry industry, which represents a more abstract sense of durability and retaining its value over time. And also their physical durability is useful in making tools like diamond tip drills or diamond edge saw blades. Now with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, their transparent and immutable existence on a decentralized blockchain ledger makes the digital assets extremely durable from the standpoint of their ability to exist. Because the nature of the blockchain makes crypto both hard to destroy and extremely easy to transport and be exchanged between buyers, sellers, or inheritors. Because the nature of the blockchain makes crypto both hard to destroy and extremely easy to transport and be exchanged between buyers, sellers, or inheritors. And it's the only asset we can actually completely own, custody, and control without third parties when we use crypto wallets like Ledger, Stax, and Flex devices or Tangem Wallet. And what's great about having our own wallet is that most digital assets are directly on a decentralized network that cannot be frozen or stopped, unlike other assets that companies or governments are able to freeze or seize. Comparing that with the durability in terms of the value of stocks over time, with stocks, the value is mainly predicated on the continued successful existence of a company, which is extremely multifaceted when you consider all the individual employees that make up the company, any new laws or regulations that can affect the company, any new or old competition within the company's industry, changes in the global macro environment like tariffs, relationships between countries, supply chains, market demand, or even black swan events like pandemics. So definitely a lot more risk involved with stocks from the long-term durability of value standpoint. Nice. Now, as far as being able to transport stocks, here's the deal. Since we never actually have stocks in our complete possession because we are forced to use third-party brokerages like Fidelity or Robinhood, in reality, we pretty much have a contract that says we own the shares and we just watch the price fluctuate on our brokerage accounts. So we can't really send our stocks to anyone. We can only hold them on the exchange or choose to buy and sell them on the exchange. And exchanges are subject to hacks, having downtime, closing our accounts, or complying with any regulatory or governmental actions that could involve freezing or seizing our assets. Great. Quality 3, social agreement. Social agreement is simply when a substantial amount of people agree something is valuable or has value. Diamonds have formed a ton of social agreement over time due to their durability and desirability. Gold is another example of an asset that has stood the test of time as a good store of value from a social agreement standpoint. As a hedge against inflation, its use in jewelry and in technology. And in the past several decades, stocks have garnered decent social agreement as well. And what's interesting is in modern times, it's actually extremely difficult for social agreement to form around potential new digital assets like cryptocurrencies because it requires a near perfect storm of variables coming together at the right time and the right place. Things like laws, regulations, institutional recognition and adoption, retail recognition and adoption, and psychological phenomena surrounding the new potential asset, as well as trusted technological platforms capable of maintaining the new potential asset. So as social agreement of the original digital asset Bitcoin has formed and solidified over the past decade, and especially over this most recent year, with entire countries adopting Bitcoin, it has paved a way for the value of new up-and-coming digital assets like other cryptocurrencies to start gaining social agreement as well. We've seen that with other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum getting its own ETF, and we will continue to see it with other cryptocurrencies like Solana and likely XRP, Cardano, and more. Amazing. So of the 3 qualities we covered about asset valuation, supply, durability, and social agreement is the most important aspect for cryptocurrencies to garner, grow, and foster from a value perspective. And as we will discover throughout the rest of this video, social agreement is not always based on an asset's underlying value or utility per se. For example, with the GameStop and AMC fiasco a few years ago, we saw meme culture form around these particular assets that substantially increased their valuations. And in the cryptocurrency markets, the same can be said for cryptocurrencies actually based on memes like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and Pepe. So memes are a new form of social agreement in both the traditional stock market and cryptocurrency market that represent a large group of people's overall sentiment. Sometimes that sentiment can be based on figures and calculations, and sometimes that sentiment can represent a social movement like meme coin investors' way of sticking it to the man, or Wall Street, which we explore in more depth about why this is happening and will continue to happen in this video you can check out by clicking on the link above. Sweet. Now let's compare social agreement with stocks versus crypto. One of the main traditional valuation methods that affect stock prices is the stock price times the total amount of company shares that equals the value of the company, or the total market cap. Sure, the value of a company can be evaluated by looking at cash flow, balance sheets, assets, liabilities, financial statements, mergers, acquisitions, etc. However, at the end of the day, the stock price times the total shares equaling the value of a company is just as arbitrary as something like Dogecoin, having a current price times the total amount of tokens equaling a $61 billion market cap. And just to put that into perspective, Dogecoin, a useless piece of code with a dog logo created as a joke, has a higher market cap now than Rolls-Royce, Hilton Worldwide, General Motors, Mercedes-Benz, Target, BNY Mellon, Porsche, Volvo, Freddie Mac, Marathon Petroleum, Barclays, BMW, Ford, Electronic Arts, DHL, Delta Airlines. Dogecoin and other memes like Shiba Inu and Pepe have higher market caps than airline, automobile, and big tech companies. Wild. So most stocks are based on old, long-standing social agreement that a simple equation accurately represents the value of a company, while the new standard for social agreement is based on network-driven, cultural, and social perspective of the value of a digital asset like Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Both are perfectly valid, just as they are perfectly arbitrary. Crazy. Next, let's take a look at what owning stocks as an investor looks like versus owning certain cryptocurrencies. First, real quick, since we are getting familiar with the next generation of digital assets, Now is also a great time to get familiar with the next generation of banking and finance at large by getting a free Uphold account. It only takes like 90 seconds to set up, and as crazy as it sounds, Uphold provides us with a way safer and better option for storing our US dollars, our fiat currency, than banks, and trading crypto better than exchanges. Check it out. When we put our hard-earned US dollars or crypto in Uphold, it's actually there, it stays there, and it's 100% backed. When we put our money in a bank or crypto exchange, they don't keep it there. They lend it out. Uphold publicly lists and updates in real time every 30 seconds their balance sheet for anyone to see at any time on their website, even without an account. Definitely not the case with banks or exchanges. Uphold is one of the first major crypto platforms to offer US dollar interest accounts to US users that are FDIC insured up to 2.5 million. Many banks don't offer interest and only FDIC insure up to 250K. And instead of having separate liquidity and token prices like most exchanges, Uphold is actually connected to over 30 underlying exchanges, which gives us the best possible price and more liquidity when trading crypto, all seamlessly without having to transfer funds between banks and crypto exchanges. Hey, it's free to sign up, so scroll down and use the link below to access Uphold's correct and official site and redeem any special offers they have for us. Sweet. Okay, now let's take a look at what owning stocks as an investor looks like versus owning certain cryptocurrencies. Stocks back in the day paid shareholders dividends. So if the company was profitable and doing well, a person that owned their stock benefited from that profitability in the form of dividend payments. During this time, the stock price times total shares equaling a company's value was less arbitrary. However, now companies' dividend payout ratios, as well as companies that distribute a percentage of their earnings to shareholders, have decreased substantially since the 1950s. So why aren't companies giving dividend payments to stockholders anymore? Because they're not profitable? Because they aren't experiencing success? Actually, quite the opposite. Company profits as a percentage of the entire economy have increased substantially over this time period. Companies like Amazon, who have been wildly successful, have never once paid anything to their investors in their entire 30 years of existence. So basically, if we own one share of Amazon stock or have a huge bag of Amazon stocks, we don't receive any benefits from the company growing and becoming more profitable. In fact, whether Amazon is successful or not, owning their stock doesn't directly affect you. Your stock is merely a representation of your shared ownership in its name only. Zero other benefits. We can buy it, hold it, and hopefully sell for profit, just like any other useless governance cryptocurrency tokens. Which begs the question, are owning stocks any different from owning certain cryptocurrencies? Let's think about it. Amazon doesn't distribute any of its profit to you. Owning the stock is ownership in name only, and the only benefit we get is the opportunity to potentially sell the stock at a higher price if it goes up. So how is this different from owning some Bitcoin or Dogecoin that at this time do not offer any additional investment benefits like a dividend? Well, in the case of crypto, if we hold it in our own wallet like Ledger devices or Tangent wallets, we actually have possession, ownership, and control over it, not just a representation of ownership like a stock that we watch go up and down in value on our Robinhood app. Also, in the case of crypto, we get the opportunity to sell it whenever we want, hopefully at a higher price. And guess what? There's much, much more. We can actually borrow against these assets, lend them out for interest payments, stake them for rewards in some cases, qualify for airdrops, which is pretty much free money, and a lot of other creative things using DeFi or decentralized finance apps and protocols. We can't do that with stocks. And we also can't transfer ownership of stocks to anyone around the world at any time for a relatively cheap price like we can with cryptocurrencies. We can literally send billions of dollars worth of crypto to anyone around the world at any time for just a couple bucks, without having to use a third party, without having any waiting times, without having to explain what the transaction is for. Complete and total freedom to use our digital assets as we please. Brilliant. So we can see how social agreement around stock ownership and crypto ownership are both pretty much based on both arbitrary logic and illogic, because any gains we realize from our Amazon stock isn't coming from Amazon. It's coming from the buyers and sellers in the market that share the same social agreement about valuation, who are willing to buy shares from each other at a higher price when the company potentially performs well or for any other reason. So if people in the market didn't behave or respond to companies performing well or changing market and industry conditions, then the stock price wouldn't go up, even though the stock price times total shares equation is increasingly detached from reality. In crypto, if we consider certain useless governance tokens, holding them doesn't give us any real ownership in the project, and they don't pay out yields or dividends. So why does the price not go to zero? Because people in the crypto market are applying the same socially agreed upon valuation method that people use in the stock market. Maybe the arbitrary token price times total supply equaling its value. A lot of people are just gambling on projects in the crypto market because they don't know how to differentiate a project with actual potential use cases from one that doesn't in the long term. And any returns or gains we realize comes from other people in the market behaving the same way. At the end of the day, the reality is the crypto markets operate in 4-year cycles, and we are currently in the middle of a bull cycle with likely 6 to 8 months left to go. Most all cryptocurrencies will go up around the same time, like they are now, and then crash around the same time once it's over. The only difference this time around is with a new pro-crypto regime coming into the US government soon. Big institutions, corporations, and entire countries adopting Bitcoin. Bitcoin may start behaving differently from the rest of the crypto markets after this cycle ends, and most cryptocurrencies plummet. So listen up, any Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies you're accumulating over the long term, make sure you are transferring them off of exchanges to hold securely on multiple cold storage hardware wallets. Don't keep your eggs all in one basket when dealing with this new cutting-edge, high-risk technology. Tangent Wallet is a set of 3 cards that work just like having a set of 3 house keys that function as backups. It's by far the easiest crypto wallet to set up and use on the market right now. And now they are offering the first ever wearable crypto wallet, the sleek, stylish Tangent Ring. And Ledger offers premium crypto hardware wallet options like the Ledger Stax and Flex devices with extra security layers. They are the first of their kind as a new crypto wallet category, which is a secure touchscreen, featuring a full keyboard and keypad, making it super user-friendly. Ledger always offers our community the best discounts available on the market, so be sure to scroll down and use links below to access their correct and official sites. Awesome. If you would like to watch a full review of the Ledger Stax and Flex wallet devices, check out this video. If you would like to learn more about Uphold and how it is a way better and safer option than banks and exchanges to store our US dollars, as well as manage our crypto, check out this video. And to start securing your money and managing crypto with Uphold, click on the link on the screen. Like and subscribe for more. Be safe out there.